Good evening from the newsroom. The news for this Tuesday, 4th of July. It's been 4 days now since drivers on SBTC buses are not accepting money from passengers for tickets. Alex Etienne, who is the General Manager for Corporate Affairs at the SBTC, says almost everything is on track, even though there are some difficulties which they can overcome. This morning there were still long queues of people buying and recharging their cards. And now that people can't use money to buy the bus tickets, when boarding the SBTC buses, several visitors are left behind at the bus stops because they don't have bus passes. People who do not have bus passes can, on a temporary basis, purchase one when boarding the SBTC buses. These cards cost 30 rupees and are only valid for 2 trips and can be recharged later. Instead of getting rid of animal feed altogether, the chairperson of the Agricultural Producers Association, Dr. Barry Nouris, is proposing to have a government-owned animal feed factory. Dr. Nouris says the collaboration between the Agriculture Department and the STC to provide farmers animal feed as from the 1st of this month, which has not been materialized yet, will only cause the price of animal feed to rise. He is proposing for the ministry to invest in its own animal feed factory.
We should look at reorganizing the subsidy, relooking at the subsidy and see how it can be maximized. And one of the ways to maximize this is to put it in infrastructure that actually support the agricultural sector. And one of the infrastructure that is the responsibility primarily of the Ministry of Agriculture is to provide facility of primary material, for example, animal feed as we are talking, is to have, in my opinion, having a factory that is local and belongs to all farmer and not in as a private entity. And that would be one of the main mechanisms, I think, that will help to maximize the use of whatever finance that the government put in the budget for agriculture. And that would be, in my opinion, one of the best ways to solve the problem related to the current animal feed problem in the country.
In the Firearms and Prevention of Terrorism case, the Supreme Court will decide tomorrow if to grant the defense more time to prepare the case. It is to be recalled that there are 5 accused in this case: the Valabji couple, Mukesh and Laura, Leslie Benoiton, Léopold Payet and Frank Marie. This followed the discovery of a cache of arms, a majority from the Valabji couple's residence at Mont Blanc and some in Mr. Benoiton's possession.
The trial started yesterday. However, this morning, the couple's foreign lawyer, Varun Zaiwala of Zairara & Co. in London, made several allegations accusing the Anti-Corruption Commission of hampering the couple's efforts to get the release of funds to pay legal fees. In so doing, depriving the couple's rights to a fair trial. He is asking for a 3-month postponement of the trial until October. The Attorney General's office, which is prosecuting the case, responded this afternoon through lawyer Stephen Powers. He made several points, such as the AG cannot represent the ACCS in this dispute for the court to decide if the tardiness by the Valabji couple to apply for the release of funds is the issue here, and that do the defense really need 3 months. He suggested that if the court give a postponement, it should be until mid-next month.
A 29-year-old man suspect in the death of the owner of the Castello Beach Hotel on Praslin on the 28th of May this year has appeared in court today and will be remanded into police custody for a further 14 days. He will reappear in the court on the 18th of July. The suspect is a resident of Anse-Kerlan-Praslin and he was arrested yesterday afternoon. The owner of the Castello Beach Hotel, the late Hans Hackel, who was 78, was found dead in a villa at his hotel at Gontras-Praslin in the early hours of the 28th of May with injuries to his body. His partner, a 64-year-old woman of Russian nationality, was transported to the Seychelles Hospital for medical treatment after sustaining severe injuries on different parts of her body. Hans Hackel had double nationalities, German and Seychellois. The government currently has 152 suspense accounts worth over 409 million rupees. It was the Minister of Finance, National Planning and Trade, Nadi Hassan, who made the statement this morning when he was answering a private notice question in the National Assembly. The leader of the opposition, Sébastien Pillet, asked about the number of suspense accounts held by the government, the total amount of money that is in each account, and what kinds of activities are financed by the money on these accounts. It should be noted that a suspense account is one used by the government to temporarily hold money before these monies are transferred to their appropriate accounts. The Minister for Finance, National Planning and Trade says that CEPEC has temporarily halted its long-term training program for seafarers working on its fleet of tankers. Minister Nadi Hassan was speaking during question time in the National Assembly this morning. He said the training program could resume next year. This will be made clearer when the company completes a review of its strategy in September this year. Ambassador Vincent de Geert has finalized his 4-year mandate as the ambassador of the European Union to Seychelles. Today, he paid a farewell call on President and Vice President, where they discussed the various projects which have been completed under his mandate. Mr. de Geert says although there is work to be done, he is satisfied with the progress made in the last 4 years.
I'm very honored and very happy to be now the German ambassador to the Seychelles. We would like to strengthen the cooperation between the police authorities and looking into a very concrete project of material support. We are also looking into strengthening the cultural cooperation. We have a little bit of a project money from Germany that we would like to invest in a cultural project to do something with Seychelles artists. The third subject that is very important both to the Seychelles and to Germany, of course, is environmental protection. And Seychelles is unique in questions of biodiversity and the richness of the sea and the fish and all the different fauna and flora in this country. And we are already collaborating with the Seychelles on a big regional project that starts in Kenya and goes down to the Mozambique, but also including Seychelles, protection of the shores, protection of the mangroves, and managing fisheries in a sustainable way.
I apologize for this mistake. This was the new German ambassador for the Seychelles, who has been accredited. Sebastian Groth presented his certifications and accreditations to President Ramkalawan at State House this morning. Mr. Groth will be based in Nairobi, Kenya, and will also be acting as ambassador for Kenya and Somalia. Mr. Groth says that he has plans to strengthen the partnership between Seychelles and Germany. And as I said, Ambassador Vincent de Geert has finished his 4-year mandate as the ambassador of the European Union to Seychelles. Today he paid a farewell call to the President and Vice President, where they discussed the various projects which have been completed under his mandate. Mr. de Geert says that although there is still work to be done, he is satisfied with the progress made in the last 4 years.
4 years extremely active. I still have a few issues we need to look at. The renovation of the port of Mahé is among these issues, so I'm still having a few meetings today and tomorrow to try to find suitable solutions and avenues to make further progress in the relationship. And I'm thankful really for all the government and the ministers for their very strong engagement and commitment. We have achieved a lot of things, very strong foundations that are there on which to build for the future. This is really something very solid. It concerns the economy, concerns investments, it concerns the fishery sector also. With maritime security is one of the key issues that we have been advancing a lot upon. Fighting illegal fishing, fighting drug trafficking and arms trafficking. are among our key priorities, and I want to thank the Seychelles government for their commitment and engagement. I think we have a very, very solid base that has been established today.
And with this, we end this news flash. I'll be back in less than an hour's time with the news in Creole. Have a very pleasant evening.